It's Newcastle's Hit 106.9 with Nick, Jess and Ducko.
As we've said many, many times, we absolutely lost ourselves in the Olympics this year.
So good.
Seeing the Aussies absolutely dominate was incredible in a time where we needed distraction.
Absolutely.
And we needed something to bring us together. Well, the fun doesn't bloody stop because the Paralympics are kicking off next Tuesday, the 24th of August. And I'll be real with you boys, the swimming. It's where the Aussies dominate. So
We're best in the water.
We're best in the water. Come on. And Ellie Cole, friend of the show, she's headed off to Tokyo 2020/2021. I don't know how to talk about Tokyo. With
All the signage says 2020
All the signage says
still,
2020.
so.
It's very confusing. But Ellie Cole, absolute weapon in the pool, joins us this morning. Ellie, how are you?
Good morning. I'm trying to sound like a morning person here. I'm very well, and I'm really excited to be heading off to Tokyo. I also don't understand how to reference the games, and I'm an athlete myself.
Yeah. Now, we've heard that you're not a morning person. How on earth are you a swimmer without being a morning person?
Yeah.
A lot of coffee, I suppose you'd say. I would be terrible on breakfast radio, let me tell you.
Mate, you're doing all right
sound pretty
so far.
chipper
You're
right
bloody
now.
chipper, yeah.
Yeah. And how's all your training going? Of course, we know it was cancelled last year, as we just said. So what does that do to you mentally? How's your training going? Did you feel like you were peaking last year, then you had to sort of get yourself back in the mind frame?
Yeah, it was definitely a challenging year, to say the least. We're just finishing up our training in Cairns at the moment, just like the Olympic team did. I was feeling a bit flat a few weeks ago, but then watching our Olympic team dominate in the pool made me very excited. And as you guys said yourselves, watching the Olympics was absolutely incredible, but actually knowing the athletes yourselves, like I was an emotional wreck the whole week. But I'm really excited. It's nearly here.
When you say competing, Ellie, can we just rattle through what we'll be seeing you doing? 100-metre freestyle, 400-metre freestyle, 100-metre backstroke, plus a few relays. I mean, girlfriend, how much can I be in the pool? I'll take it all.
Well, we train 9 times a week to be able to do this.
Wow.
We saw plenty of our swimmers at the Olympics have big programs. We had, Emma McKeon racing in nearly everything, and Ariane Titmus racing all of the distance events. And one thing that I noticed was that they're all exhausted by the end. So I'm preparing myself physically, mentally, and emotionally for a pretty big week.
Yeah.
So with the Tokyo 2020 thing being postponed by a year, with your training regime, how far out is it planned for you to peak at Olympic time? Like, how far out can you tweak it to be able to postpone it a year and still be at the right spot?
So we were obviously planning to peak this time last year. And the good thing about the postponement was that everything was postponed almost 12 months to the T. And so our planning for the year was almost exactly the same, except we just had to hit the restart button again. And it's like we started our preparation just a lot fitter, which I think is why you saw plenty of good results at the Olympics, because people had that extra year and they were already so fit 1 year out. So I'm hoping that that's going to happen for our Paralympic team as well. But yeah, it was pretty difficult just to kind of take 6 weeks off when you thought you were going to be going to Tokyo.
Yeah.
And then having to start all over again. But I've kind of enjoyed the challenge. I've been on the swim team now for 16 years, and it's usually the same preparation every single time we go into a competition. And, everything just got thrown up in the air and we had to adapt in certain ways, which Paralympians are usually pretty good at anyway.
Yeah. Speaking of adapting in different ways, being Paralympians, of course, you're missing an entire leg, which, is incredible what you're doing in the pool and swimming. Being your sport of swimming, who do you come across disability-wise? Like, is there one that you feel is unfairly has an advantage? Do you know what I mean? Like, you're missing a leg. Does someone have no arm? Or like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, we're categorised to try and make things as fair as possible. You are going to find a range of different disabilities in my race. For me, I usually race against other leg amputees, so it's pretty fair. But you see some crazy disabilities at the Paralympics. Like, there's one guy, he's from Iran, and I believe he's the second tallest person in the world.
Oh.
And his disability is that he's so tall that he can't stand up. So he's a seating volleyball player.
Holy hell.
And he just sits at the front of the net. And the poor countries are trying to, get the ball over the net, and he just slams his arm down over across. Yeah, he's incredible. But you kind of walk around the village and you see these incredible disabilities, like people in the dining hall with no arms that are cutting a steak with their feet. Or like I said, the second tallest man. It's incredible. It's actually a lot of fun.
So good.
And if people don't know, take us through your childhood, like the challenges that you faced from a very young age.
So I had my leg amputated when I was 3 from cancer, but I started swimming 8 weeks after for rehab, and it was obviously one of the best decisions. But Unfortunately, when I acquired my disability, my parents were really scared because they didn't know anyone that had a disability, and they thought that I would have no opportunities in my life, especially in a professional sense. And so to be able to, every single time I win a medal and stand on the podium, I just think about that fear that my parents had. And I'm just so thankful that we have such a great platform like the Paralympics. So that's why I get very emotional when I talk about the Paras and why it means so much to me, because of that fear that my parents had initially, that their child would have a disability. No one should be scared. 20% of our population have a disability.
Yeah.
And so I just absolutely love being a para-athlete, and I'm going to continue doing it as long as I can, but my body is starting to give out on me.
Could this be your last games?
I think so. I was chatting to Kate Campbell about this a few days ago, because we're both heading to our 4th games. And it's, 16 years at the highest level and the highest level of training that you can push your body. Yeah, eventually, your body starts giving out by Friday, and then as the years go on, it's by Thursday, and then Wednesday, and now by Tuesday. I'm so tired.
Well, Ellie Cole, Paralympic champion. We can't wait to see you in action next Tuesday, 24th of August, when it all kicks off. The whole country is going to be watching because majority of us are in lockdown as well. So go out there and kick some butt. We can't wait.
I hope you guys enjoy and take care in lockdown too.
Thanks,
Ellie.
Thanks, Ellie.